What's up, everybody? Sysadmin Sean here, and today we are going to go ahead and pick back up on the Proxmox Done Fast series, and we're going to install Ceph and do our HCI clustered storage, so stay tuned. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, we've got our nodes set up in here for our cluster, Tiger cluster, and so the main thing we've got to do is install Ceph on all the nodes and configure the disks and all of that stuff. So I'll go ahead and get that started, and we'll be back as soon as it finishes. It pretty much just runs a standard install script for all the Ceph packages so that it can do everything. And of course, we're running Reef, which is supposedly the most stable version that's out right now, but we are still running the no subscription option, so we don't have a support contract or anything. And again, it's just because this is a demonstration. We're not running any production clusters on here. This is not my real job cluster. This is my home cluster. So we're not worried about any of that right now. I highly recommend. So this is what I'm going to do for mine is I'm going to use the same network that management is on. This is not suggested. This is not a best practice. They highly recommend you have a 10 gig network, and that 10 gig network is isolated for just Ceph storage. And that's pretty standard practice. vSAN does the same thing. Verge does the same thing. Probably XCP also does the same thing if you go their HCI method, because you just want all of that traffic communication to itself. You want it to be able to do everything it wants to do on its own without having to affect anything else. I don't have that luxury here. I don't even have 10 gigs, so not going to deal with it. Plus, I'm not setting up a whole bunch of servers that's going to be a problem. So, but we're going to leave it like this. We're going to leave our replicas alone at 3 and a minimum at 2. That way we know that we have at least 3 copies of everything across all of the storage so that it's protected should as a node go down, which is really cool. We'll hit next here. It'll say success. Then we'll hit finish. And then that's all good. And we're going to leave that like it is and do that to the other 2. And then we'll come right back. Okay, now we have our Ceph cluster started. We are going to go to this area, and it's going to say that there's a health warning because it doesn't see the pools completely. So what we're going to have to do is go to each host, check out the configuration. Looks good there. Monitor. We are going to create new monitors and managers for the other 2. So we can go create Tiger host 2. It will run through those steps. Same for a manager. I don't think you absolutely need to do this, but it is best to have multiple ones, and they will turn on and go into standby mode. We can also stay on this node and do it for all of them so that we don't have to jump around. Yeah, as you can see, standby. And I like to just go ahead and have them for all. And I really wish I'd paid attention to my naming, because this is infuriating that these names are a little different. So there's that done. And then if we go to pool, we can create a pool. We're not ready for that yet. Yes, here we go, a metadata server. So let's create our metadata server. We're going to build our first one on 1. And apparently you can create multiple metadata servers on each system if you want some more failover, or multiple ones on a system if you want. I'm just going to create one on each node. So that we have them. There we go. And then the next thing we're going to want to do is get our disks into OSD. And essentially what that means is going in here, it's going to detect stuff, but I need to do this, I believe, per node. So let's go back one. Make sure we're on this one. And we should have 3 disks. Oh, we have 4 disks available. Oh, no, that's right, on these. It will be smaller on number 4. So we'll go to create. And essentially we'll build OSD disks for every free disk we have available. And they take a few seconds to show up. So usually when you create a second one, the first one will show up. And of course, you don't want to have your disks in any sort of RAID configuration when you do this. It's not supported. You want to make sure that they're their own thing. You can obviously do raids if you want to. There's no reason that you don't have to do a raid. If you feel like you'd rather do a raid and use XFS, that's obviously totally up to you. If you want to have like a TrueNAS box and do NFS shares, that's a way to do it. That's the way a lot of flex pods build. But we're going for HCI, so we're going for hyperconverged, which means we're going to use Ceph. And yeah, we will keep going through all of this until we've finished adding all the disks to OSD from all 3 nodes. And once that's done, we'll come right back. All right, we'll let that last disk on TigerHost 4 finish. It does only have 3 as opposed to the other ones. I was like, I really don't need this much storage, so I'm not going to buy as many SSDs for these 2 new hosts. And you know, you might see one here and go, where's the other? Well, the other one is actually running ESXi for us so that we can do some of those demonstrations of migrating VMs from ESXi to Proxmox, and then we'll probably blow it away and install Hyper-V and then do it again. Though to be honest, if you have Hyper-V, you're probably not paying too much for it, so you're probably not migrating off of Hyper-V, but we can still show how that works. Let's hit reload here. Yeah, there we go. So there is all of our OSD. Now we should be able to go to the pool, and it's created a management pool, which is very cool. All right, now the next part we need to do is we have to build our pool, and our pool is going to dictate how we go about getting our storage available to our VMs. Let me double check this. Actually, do I want to go here? Do I want to go here? We do want to go there. Okay. Create. Do not add a storage name. We're going to call it VM data, because why not? Everything else we're going to leave alone. It's going to create it. And it builds its placement groups, and it says the optimal placement groups, and that's going to balance across all of the nodes. Then we go up to our cluster, and we're going to go to, why did I put my headphones back on? We're going to go to storage, and we're going to add RBD, and see, it's going to grab that pool because it's not already set up as storage, because this is going to make it storage. We're going to call this VM data as well. We're going to use those monitors. We want to use it as a pool, enabled, no restrictions, content, disk images, and containers. Why not? I'm not sure what KRBD is, but we're going to hit add. And there we go. Now that is set to auto scale. So what that means is it's going to look kind of small for right now, as we can see it getting added. We can click on one of these here, and it's going to say, yeah, about 800 gigs. So that's fine. And then what else we can do is we can go back to our Ceph cluster, and then we can create one more, and we are going to add this as storage. We're going to call this like ISO files. ISO. We're going to say that target size of, I don't know. Actually, we don't really have that much room. We'll let it auto scale. It'll be fine. And that's going to get added and mounted. And so now we've got 2 little Ceph pools across our wonderful amount of disks, and we can see our configuration here, and this will show us how much we're using of our 2 terabytes. Not much, obviously. And now we've got 800 gigs here, 800 gigs here. We really won't use that. We can lock this down more when we want to. And this one will be for, let's see here. We need to go up to here, pick this, edit. We want to make this for, there should be, oh, that made it an RBD as well. I did not want it to do that. I wanted one in here just for, let's see if we can, we'll get rid of that. We'll add another one via CephFS here. ISO real. And then we don't want backups going there. We just want ISOs, and we'll put container templates in there. I think that's pretty good. FS name. Oh, we don't have a blah, blah, blah. All right, that's on me. Ignore it. Actually, I think we have to go through here to do it. Make a CephFS here, and we got to just turn these on or they're going to get mad. we do that. That might throw an error because we already have one called ISO, but we're going to see. Yep. So that threw an error, which means we need to go to storage. At the cluster level. We want to remove this one. Then we can go to add Cephfs and we can pick ISO. And we just want ISO files and container templates to go there and hit add. And then that's in there as the right one. So that looks good. Now, what I don't know is because I was a dingus and had this off, let's test this real quick. Okay, that just made another standby one, so we can stop it and destroy it. But there you go. That is the basics of building a Ceph cluster on Proxmox for use for VMs and things like that. And in the next video, I'll go over any mistakes I made because I'm pretty sure I made a few mistakes. And show you what I cleaned up, and then we will deploy some virtual machines just to kind of show, well, you guys have seen that before. You know how to deploy a virtual machine. We'll start working on the migration path, and I think I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do, but I'm not 100% sure yet, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next one.